Hello, welcome to the ITL. Oh, this, I'll tell you what, this has been a week of ups and, well, actually downs and ups. We'll go downs first. Downs and ups. Oh, it really has been too. I don't know, I just felt this week really just sucked. I'll be honest with you, it really just sucked in my eyes at first. And then, it's just what it was, you know. Yeah, I had a nice day to ride this week on Tuesday, but it just sucked. It just sucked. The morning kind of set the paces off. If you've seen yesterday's video, and it was just like, whenever you're set like that, whenever something happens like that, I mean, with me, it's like I'm always looking over my shoulders, like, okay, what's next? And it kind of just throws the day off for me, and it's my own hang up, and I know it is, but it's like, oh geez. um but yeah, if anybody's followed earlier this week, our fine president of the United States with his little meeting across the table with lawmakers. I watched almost the whole freaking thing. And I'll tell you what. At first, I was like a lot of people that I've came across on the internet. It was like, you know what? He's a turncoat. There's no way he's going to get reelected. He wants, like you would like to. Blah blah blah. And I'll be honest with you, I'm still reserved on that. I mean, he really, and be honest with you, he really pissed me off. And I know he really pissed off other gun owners. And I mean, I'm talking about going across Pennsylvania personally. I know a lot of gun owners across the country is really pissed off about what he said. But, but after thinking and after remembering his past, the way he does things and everything else, and I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised that the rest of the government, the lawmakers and stuff, hasn't cited on this at all. I mean, he's a game player. He's a game player. He's written books on it. This very well could be him playing them. Um, I personally, I mean, what he brought up is unconstitutional. I mean, is illegal, and you can't do that shit. Sorry, part of my language. You just cannot have. They just cannot come in and grab your guns and sort it out in the courts later. It just no. It can't be done. I mean, well, it could be done, but it's not. It's not legal. They're setting themselves up with some severe lawsuits, and I mean, it's like, no, you can't do that. Let alone, you start gun grabbing and stuff, and you start going attacking the Second Amendment. You're going to piss off a lot of people that put you in the office. Let alone, I mean, I'm not just not worried about the Second Amendment. I'm more about the complete Constitution. The complete Constitution. I mean, they're just going to needle away at it one at a time. I mean, yes, YouTube controls basically what we have up on YouTube. It's their company. But yet they're stifling a lot of us on what we can put up, what we can say. Um, but in the real world, I mean, we have the First Amendment to protect us. That's it, and a lot of people forget about that. I mean, long as it's not slanderous, you do have most of the time you do have the First Amendment to protect you. Um, yes, people for a long time has really pushed this subject and made us feel that we can't say what we really feel. But I mean, if you want to, you can. I mean, it's how you feel. We have the right for speech. Um, but I mean, and those aren't the only two. Those aren't the only two amendments that I feel needs to be protected. I think the whole Constitution, in the whole, needs to be protected. Um, but yeah, it's been a wild ride this week. It really has. Um, Trump likes to play his game, though. Trump likes to play his game. He likes to make people think he's going to do one thing, then he turns around and does basically what he started out to do in the first place. No. Is the wall built yet? No. It's coming. I know for a fact. I don't know for a fact. Okay, I'm sorry about that. But I know it's coming. I know that things are set up in place to get it put up. I know testing is coming up for. They have the different panels put up. I think it's in Texas or New Mexico. It's down south along the border somewhere. They got the panels put up, the testing for the different type of wall systems. And that's coming. He's only been in for, what, 14 months? He needs more time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and our government works even slower. And he's got to work with certain parameters. But he's a game player. He is a hard game player. That's why he's rich. That's why he's built an empire. He's learned it the hard way. He knows what he's doing. He just didn't inherit a ton of money and decide to buy a dump and build it up. A shack and build it into a better looking shack by a paint job. No, he didn't cheat that way. He's a game player, guys. Let's be patient about this. Give him a little bit. It's good to be, conservative about it. Reserved about it. Pardon it. Reserved about it. But give him time. Give him time. It's. I hope what comes through should come. I hope he reverses his actions and comes to properly. You can't just go out gun grabbing. No, no, you're breaking so many rights of the individual by doing that. It's unreal. It can't be done. And as far as them putting up gun bans and stuff, changing the Okay, let's talk about as far as them changing the Constitution. Okay, abolishing the Second Amendment. It is a long uphill battle to do that. And I'm not going to go through what they have to do to go through it, but there's so many checks and balances they have to go through. And then they got to come to the states, individual person in the states, residents, and get us. I think it's a 3/4 vote, 3 out of 4 vote on that. They call it, and it just. Whenever the Constitution has been they try to amend the Constitution in the past. There's still there's still I can't remember things written up to change the Constitution that is still on the freaking ballot on the board. It's from back in the 1800s, 1700s. The 1800s to say, but these is not going to happen. They got to follow certain protocols. Sorry about the stuttering part of it, but they got to follow certain protocols to get this done. And if they don't follow those protocols, they got to answer to us. They have to answer to us. The thing is there enough of us willing to hold them accountable? That's the big question. Have we turned too soft to do it? The big question. My thoughts on this is no. We kind of showed a little bit of what we wanted, how we're going to react a little bit by voting President Trump into office. So we already started showing that we are not weak. We already showed that we still have numbers out there. Yeah, I try to keep politics off my channel. I really do. And but this is something that has come up in the news, and I mean, have not even mentioned the precursor that started this situation, and I'm not willing to do that because that goes into a lot of, oh, did it happen? Didn't it happen? Did this happen? Did that happen? And I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer those questions, and I'm not going to speculate on it. There's too many flags popping up on both sides, and I can't speculate on something like that. I'm not down there. I'm not even close to being from around that area. I don't know. Taxpayers at work, taxpayer money at work, I should say. Not like having 5 of them come to you because you're a suspicious individual. Tuesday, just talking Tuesday. Had a great hangout, fantastic hangout. I really enjoyed it last. Actually, to me, this is last night because it was recorded on Friday. Hang out with Dante Fox. He hang out, even though it was cut off early because of technical difficulties. But I mean, like always, I think we had to me, we had one of the more enjoyable hangouts, even though we were off the air. And we just kept on going, and we were just comfortable, and we were just letting it go. And we talked what we basically talked our minds, and we had a great hangout. Great hangout. I mean, Gopher, he was always Gopher rider. He's always a great person to have in a hangout. Cave Troll was in there. Motor Mat Man was in there. Actually, one guy that we didn't hear much to talk from because he has technical difficulties. That was the Overland for Life. He's from Portugal, I believe, and he has technical difficulties, but at least he showed up in spirit. At least we could hear him, but he couldn't hear us. But we actually, Dante and I, kind of resolved that a little bit after the hangout, and got to talk to him. We used a Facebook app, and because that's what worked on his machine, and we got to actually talk to him, and we had a nice little chat afterwards. Even though it kept him up late, he said he had like 2 hours or less of sleep before he had to go to work. He had a rotten day, I'll tell you. Oh, but yes, but it was a fantastic hangout. If I missed anybody else that was in the hangout, I don't think I did. Skip. I mean, this Round and Round. I mean, this is the band of many names. He was in there. He's only put up a couple of videos, but he was in there. He was enjoyable to have around. But yeah, the hangouts I really do enjoy getting in there, and I mean it's just a bunch of guys. I should say guys, because we do have a few women that come in. I mean, last night we had a Raven, which she doesn't have any videos up, but she was in there. She's from Ohio. I think it's Cincinnati. I believe it's Cincinnati, somewhere in that area. I might be wrong, but Raven, she's a wonderful lady to talk to. We all hung out, and we had a good chat. We had a really good chat. That was an up. Next week, I'm hoping to be able to get a ride in on Tuesday. I'm not sure. It really depends on the weather, and it depends on how I feel too. Actually, today is one of the worst days in the last 3 weeks for me. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to moan and groan too much at you guys, and if it's too much, I apologize. But it is actually the low to mid 30s today for a high, and we actually had a winter storm run through here last night. Actually, I woke up about 3. I got up about 3 o'clock in the morning. Took dogs out to do their business, and everything was white. I mean, it was under a good 1.5 inches of white. And it was just green. It was raining, but it's windy now. Most of the snow's melted for the most part, so it's got to be. I mean, it's got to be mid 30s at least. but it really affects the metal inside you. You get it's not a comfortable feeling whenever you get a reaction to barometric pressure and everything else between the metal and, say, soft tissue. There's a reaction there, and it bothers you. Makes you kind of grumpy. And I noticed my fluorescent lights aren't on today. Garage is a little darker than normal. I'm going to have to change the, I forget what it is called on there, the fire portion of it, where it clicks in and fires off the lights, because that light was actually an indoor light. It was bought for indoor, and it's out in the garage, of course. When you get the cool weather, it cuts it out. Oh, let's go ahead and knock it off here. We're talking 16 minutes. It's going to be a long enough run. And I know my battery on my camera is running low. I forgot to charge earlier. This is MuzzleMike. Hope you all have a great week. Signing out.